All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is so wonderful to be back here at the Talmud Lunch and Learn. I'm going to move the camera in a minute. All right, just after we go live. So, in this current climate that we're in right now, it's a climate of politics. We have elections next week. Early election ends today. So, people politicians at least, like to make promises. What's known as all talk, no action, right? They talk and they promise whatever you want, but then they don't actually come through with their promises. Who is different? Abraham. Abraham was different. In this week's Parsha, we see that Abraham was all action, no talk. No talk, all action. And we see the Mishnah even tells us that we should be from the students of Abraham, who is a mor ma'at v'aseh arbeh. He says a little bit and does a lot, while others say a lot and do a little. Where do we see that? We see that with the story of Ephron, right? Abraham comes and he says he wants to bury his wife Sara. Where does he want to bury his wife Sara? He wants to bury her in the cave of Machpelah, the cave of doubles. And Adam and Eve were buried there. Abraham and Sarah were going to be buried there. We also have Isaac and Rebecca are going to be buried there. Jacob and Leah are going to be buried there, and so on. So he wants to acquire this land. So he comes to Ephron and he says, Ephron, how much is this going to be? Ephron says, for you, I'll make a special deal. Right? Classic, right? He says, for you, free. It's going to be free. Abraham says, no. How much is it going to be? He says, okay, if you're already asking $400,000, yeah, well, what's that? It's nothing. Between us, it's nothing, right? Imagine, 400 gold coins, 400 shekel. 1 second, didn't you just say it was going to be free? Didn't you just say it was going to be free? So Abraham says, no. Takes no words, says nothing. He wants to pay. He's all action. What does Ephron say? It's free, but then it's not so free. This is one of the important qualities that the Mishnah and our sages tell us that a God-fearing Jew needs to acquire. We need to have this attribute of say a little, do a lot. Don't promise more than you can deliver. Promise less and do more. Don't promise a lot and then fall short of your. I think that this lesson that we're seeing here applies not only to our daily lives, it applies a lot to our political world that we're living in, where we're seeing a lot of talk, a lot of promises. People say promise this and they promise that. Just something which is close to our heart. We think about Jerusalem, right? Jerusalem. How many presidents have promised to move the embassy to Jerusalem?
All of them.
All of them. Everyone since 1995, since the law was passed, every president promised, for both sides of the aisle, promised that it's going to be done. But it hasn't been done. So there is a certain quality we see here in the Torah where we see from Abraham, where, regardless of whether or not, I'm not talking about now politics because I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I'm just saying that it's very easy for people to make promises and not deliver. It's very easy for people to make promises. But to come through on those promises is not so simple. The Mishnah says another thing. It says, don't trust politicians. Because when they need your vote, they're going to say whatever you want to hear. As soon as they win, then suddenly what? They don't even know who you are. This is the Mishnah says. The Mishnah was written 2,000 years ago. The Mishnah says, be very, very cautious. This quality of finding the truth, finding this quality within ourselves, to be a person who talks a little but does a lot. That is the trait of Abraham. That's the trait that we're trying to emulate. And that's the trait that we're trying to incorporate into our daily lives. To have this quality of following through on what we say, at the very least, but delivering more than what we promise. Hashem should help us all that we should be from the students of Abraham, that promise a little and do a lot. Thank you, my dear friends online. Have a wonderful Shabbos. And we're going to continue now with our in-person live Talmud class. You're all welcome to join us here at the Torch Center every Friday at 12 o'clock with, of course, Gary and the delicious food served by Ed, our chef. Thank you and have a good Shabbos, everybody.